So I don't really have a dedicated script or anything to this video. I'm kind of just gonna be talking to you guys. And in this video, we're just gonna talk about, what I think is the new, I guess, era of Brawl Stars. Or at least what I think is going to be like the new era of Brawl Stars. Because I feel like this game is going in such an interesting direction based on the communication that the devs have with us, mostly related to the article that they posted. Link in the description if you haven't read it. But in case you're allergic to reading, to summarize, the dev team has owned up to some of the mistakes that they've made in the most recent updates. Games just being, buggy and glitchy. The Wasabi event being bugged. The Pizza Planet event from the beginning of the year being ruined because of bugs and glitches. And just not really meeting the expectations of the fan base. Including the new records system, which completely got rid of masteries, and for the most part, yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, myself included. And the dev team acknowledged that. They're like, yeah, well, we totally missed the mark on this. So they talked to us about how they're gonna move forward with the game. Let's first talk about why masteries was removed, because the dev team, unlike some other dev team I know, communicated with us on why they removed a feature that so many people loved, or at the very least didn't really have much of a problem with. So their goals with this most recent update was to improve the new player tutorial and experience as a whole, to add, like, I guess, this achievement system, so where, like, you can, do, like, these fun challenges and get rewards in the form of star drops. Bring back the Angels versus Demons event, which we'll talk about later, and redistribute mastery rewards to places that are more accessible with less playtime, with most of that being the Trophy Road. The Trophy Road as a whole got buffed. However, the problem was that veteran players like myself, which, you could argue that we're in, like, the top, my account at least, in terms of progression, is like at the top, like, 5% maybe. Like, that's just a rough estimate. And a lot of, like, the average player doesn't have anywhere close to as many trophies that I have personally. And it's something that I acknowledge, But I feel like as a veteran player, and as other veteran players, we kind of got, to put it bluntly, shafted. Because plenty of the rewards that, the rewards aren't retroactive, which meant that if you already reached a certain, threshold, or reward threshold, like, you couldn't, like, go back and reclaim those rewards, those buff rewards, and it kind of stunk. And additionally, the records, like, the record rewards in comparison to the mastery rewards, were just extremely inferior and underwhelming. It just felt like they wanted to, it just felt like the dev team just wanted to lean more into gacha. Because if you don't know, in 2020, at the end of 2022, yeah, at the end of 2022, they got rid of brawl boxes and stuff, which was the main source of progression, and made progression more linear and straightforward. And this was such an improvement to the game, because you always knew what you were going to get. You weren't just going to, like, roll the dice and hope to get something good. Like, you knew what you were going to get. And it was good knowing that you were getting something guaranteed. But in truth, like, it was, like, really bad for the game, because I guess progression just felt less exciting, and it kind of put the game on a negative, on a negative path. And so star drops, as much as, people want to complain about star drops, like, I'm not too fond of how star drops are being more and more, I guess, normalized in the game myself. But, the data shows that people like, flashy colors and gambling. So I guess, they're going to try to make it to where there are more opportunities to experience such gambling ecstasy. But jokes aside, yeah, Records was a bit of a flop, or at least in my opinion. So it's really cool to hear that the dev team is taking the community seriously and understanding that Records were just pretty underwhelming. They even admitted that they released like a I don't want to call it half-ass, but a bare bones like version of what they had intended for Records to be. Apparently, is going to be much bigger, but I don't know. When you're a game developer, you always got to hit deadlines, and sometimes, you know, you just don't make a deadline, so you just release whatever you have and just try to improve on it going forward, and that's kind of what happened here. So the dev team hit a bit of a roadblock. I appreciate them from owning up to it, and hopefully they could make Records better and not, I guess, lame. Because that's my big issue. Records are just lame. But in addition to improving Records, they've also mentioned some other things that they have in store for us, not just for future updates, but within the next 2 months. The new community event with Mortis that is actually over at the time of this recording, but we got some decent rewards. Yeah, we can't complain about that, you know. It was fun, it was engaging, it got people to play, and that was cool. But there's also going to be the Angels and Demons event that's going to happen, or rather, it's going to be an Angels event, and there's going to be a Demons event. It's basically a redo of the Angels and Demons event, except it'll happen, you know, this month and next month, but this month will be the Angels event, I think, and next month will be the Demons event, or the other way around, I don't know, but point is, we're gonna have a temporary event for the next 2 months, or split into 2 months, which is pretty exciting, and who knows, maybe they could do something like this again with, you know, with other events, not necessarily the ones that are tied to collaborations, like, I'm pretty sure they can't reuse the Godzilla or SpongeBob assets again to make another event like that, but, you know, something similar, you know, kind of like the sushi event was. And I've noticed they're bringing out a lot more challenges as well. You have the Icarus Bonnie challenge that grants you a free Icarus Bonnie skin as well as rewards with unlimited lives, so as long as you, like, play the challenge and complete it, you're pretty much getting a free skin for a brawler who just got her hypercharged this update, which is pretty nice. Also, speaking of hypercharge, the hypercharge release event has been back. We got to experience that at the end of last season, and now we get to experience it here again now. Like, this is great. Like, Hypercharge Unleashed, for those of y'all who don't know, was a thing back in 2023. Like, you play matches with hypercharged brawlers, and if you win enough games, you can get a free hypercharge. It was one of the most requested features to return into the game, because due to, like, bugs and stuff, I believe, in early 2024, they got rid of the event and haven't really done much with it since. And a lot of people were pretty upset at it and were like, bring back Hypercharge Unleashed. And lo and behold, in 2025, it makes its grand return. I completed it off camera. But, yeah, that's really cool. The fact that you can get a free Hypercharge by just playing the game. All you have to do is play showdown matches, or win showdown matches, rather. Free Hypercharge. Free 5,000 coins. I think that's amazing. And yeah, it's just amazing. I feel like this game is taking an interesting direction to where we'll have, you know, the main content of each new season and update. You know, the skins, the hypercharges, the ranked reset, all that jazz. As well as the new game modes. I'm having a lot of fun with Dodge Brawl, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of the best new modes they've ever released. But I feel like in addition to that, we also have like supplementary events as well, like, you know, the ongoing Hypercharged Unleashed event, the ongoing Icarus Bonnie skin event that they are literally giving out for free. You just have to play the challenge. That's literally it. And just doing, I just feel like they're just doing so many other things that give players opportunity to get more and more rewards. And if this is their way of making up for the record system, then I think this is pretty cool. But the changes don't even stop there. Like, apparently, early access brawlers will no longer be a thing. Which, saying that out loud, sounds absolutely insane. Because the article that they released, it says that Trunk, who is going to be the new brawler for the August season, like how Ali was the new brawler for the July season, Trunk will be the last in-app purchase brawler released for early access. So after Trunk gets released, there will be no more early access brawlers. Honestly, that sounds really exciting. That sounds, because, you know, I made my whole spiel on why early access brawlers are a problem. I dedicated an entire video to why early access brawlers are a problem. So do me a favor, boost my viewership and watch that video if you haven't. But yeah, this is really, like, for Brawl Stars, like, this is, like, pretty big. Like, this is a pretty big deal. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but it sounds like they're going to give players an opportunity to have early access for a new brawler for free. I don't know what that'll be. Maybe they'll do similar to what they did with Gray when he got launched. Basically, there was a big quest that you had to do with Gray, and if you completed that quest, you just unlocked them for free. I don't know if it'll be that straightforward or if it'll be, you know, more complicated than that, but the opportunity for free-to-play players to unlock a new brawler for free, that sounds really interesting. And hopefully, you know, it'll be executed pretty well, unlike records, but they're gonna improve records, so that's something to look forward to at least. So the last thing that the dev team addressed is regarding the types of rewards that are in the game. There are random rewards, which, you know, think of star drops, trophy boxes, and the sushi from the previous sushi event. And there are deterministic rewards, which are basically, you know, do this, get that. Like, it'll be like a specific reward, like whether it be rewards from the Brawl Pass, like, you know, the 1,000 coins and 1,000 power points and stuff like that, or, you know, old school master rewards, where you get a Brawler Bronze one, you get 750 coins or 1,000 depending on their rarity. So they made a statement about that. They're saying that deterministic rewards, while they're good for, I guess, the more engaged members of the community like myself, random rewards do better overall for the game. Because think back of when I said that Brawl Boxes got removed, Brawl Stars was on a gradual decline in popularity. When they introduced Star Drops in the summer of 2023, you know, that provided a bit of, you know, I guess, excitement when it came towards progression. Because, and I'll admit, you can go back to my old YouTube videos, I even said this at the time, ever since they removed Brawl Boxes, progression kind of felt a bit boring, like lackluster. Like, I thought it was cool that they made progression more linear, and I even said that this is a better form of progression than Brawl Boxes, but at the same time, I did admit that, you know, it just didn't feel exciting, you know what I mean? It didn't feel satisfying. And then Star Drops came, and initially it was met with mixed reactions because, you know, random rewards, and also another thing about Star Drops when they released is that to compensate for the rewards that you got in Star Drops, which are random, the deterministic rewards from the Brawl Pass and, at the time, Club League were nerfed. I believe the end of tail rewards for the Brawl Pass were reduced greatly, to the point to where, like, for every, I think, 500 or 1,000 XP, you literally got 5 credits. But yeah, I think that's why Star Drops kind of left a sour taste in people's mouths, is because I feel like if they had just left the deterministic rewards alone and just gave a pure buff to progression overall by implementing Star Drops, not touching the Brawl Pass, not touching the Club League, I guarantee you no one would have a problem with Star Drops. Or no one would have had a problem with Star Drops like they did back when they were first launched. But since it kind of took away from, you know, deterministic rewards, and instead, you know, incorporate into random rewards that might not even give us a proper return in value for the most part, it kind of just felt cheap, if that made sense. But I'm getting a little off topic. Point is, Star Drops were really good for the game's performance. And so they kept Star Drops, and they even admitted, you know, they kind of went a little too overboard, because now Star Drops are freaking everywhere. You can get Star Drops in Trophy Road, you can get Star Drops in the Brawl Pass, some offers you can buy Star Drops, which is absolutely absurd in my opinion. You know, you go to the bank, you ask for a Star Drop, shoot, they'll probably give you 2 of them. Like, Star Drops are very hard to avoid in Brawl Stars, and it can be frustrating when it feels like you're getting more random rewards than you are getting deterministic rewards, because it's like, well, the rate of your progression is just the coin flip. Will it, you know, go at a snail's pace, or will it, you know, go decent, like, at a decent pace? At least with deterministic rewards, you knew what was coming ahead, and so you could prepare and plan for that by deciding, oh, I want to get this brawler, or I want to get this brawler upgraded, this, that, and the third. But with everything getting more and more random, it's like, I don't know. I even said this myself. The dev team kind of, like, lost track of what they were trying to accomplish earlier when they removed boxes in the first place. And not even with Star Drops. It's like with trophy boxes as well. Like, when the update first dropped, or this most recent update first dropped, there were shop offers for trophy boxes. And I'm like, why? That completely defeats the purpose of the elusivity of these boxes, because you're supposed to get them from climbing trophies. And if you can just buy them for like $10, then that kind of defeats the purpose, you know what I mean? There's supposed to be rewards that can only be earned. That's how Star Drops were when they first launched. These are rewards that you can only earn. You can't buy them through any, you know, skin trail offers or anything like that. The only way you got Star Drops is if you played the game. Up to 3 a day, that was it. But now it feels like the game is getting more and more cluttered with random rewards to appease the gambling addicts out there. And so the dev team has made a statement. They pretty much said random rewards aren't going anywhere, but at the same time, they acknowledge that it's important to find a balance. And I think it's cool that they said that, but my main thing is that I don't want to get to another point to where, like, random rewards are straight up replacing deterministic rewards and making it seem like, you know, the meat and potatoes of your progression is the randomness, the Star Drops, the trophy box, or trophy boxes don't count towards progression, but, you know, the sushi, the Godzilla eggs, the crusty meals, you know what I mean? The mega boxes, the dead boxes, all that stuff. Like, I don't want that to be the main source of progression. I'd rather have things, you know, I'd rather have the main source of progression be the 1,000 coins, the 500 power points, the 500 coins that I get from the Brawl Pass. And, you know, the random rewards, I feel like, should be supplementary. You know, a few extra coins here and there, a few extra power points, you know, maybe a cosmetic or two to show off your style. And who knows, every once in a while you could, you know, win big and get a new brawler to play with, you know? Like, I want that to be, you know, supplementary, but the meat and potatoes of progression should be the straightforward, deterministic rewards. I think that should be the way to go. But yeah, overall, they're actually going to, I forgot to mention this, they're actually going to make up for the loss of deterministic rewards by adding them to the Brawl Pass. Which basically, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I think, overall, it is a great thing. In fact, this is an amazing thing because deterministic rewards for the Brawl Pass are going to be buffed, which means that hopefully they'll make up more, they'll matter more to progression than the random star drops that you get, you know? Like, super rare star drop, you get a pin, that's not progression, that's just, you know, something to add to cosmetics, which in and of itself is fine, but again, when the game is just shifted to a point to where the majority of your progression is just randomly generated, and when you get, you know, pin sprays and new skins instead of, you know, star powers or hypercharges or new brawlers, then yeah, people start to care less about the new skins because randomness is everywhere. And if this is what I'm randomly getting instead of, like, you know, coins, then yeah, I'd be a bit pissed. Like, again, this wouldn't be as big of a problem if deterministic rewards, you know, were the star of the show in terms of progression. Like, I don't think anyone has a problem with getting cosmetics every now and then from star drops. It's just, star drops are starting to take over the game, and because of that, cosmetic drops just become, you know, worthless because it's like, nah, I need brawler upgrades. I can't waste my time, you know, flexing a skin for a brawler that I have at power 2. Like, you know what I mean? But, yeah, they're gonna buff the free-to-play pass. They're also going to add more events, which is awesome. They're gonna add, you know, a new method to Brawler Early Access, make it less pay to win, and yeah, this seems really good. I'm really appreciative of the dev team being open and honest with us and just saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. Get ready. I know a lot of people were upset because some of the things that were promised in the roadmap from last year haven't really happened. Like, we were supposed to get a collab like 2 updates ago, and we didn't. And then everyone saw that Squad Busters had the Sonic collab, and then everyone just started crying because, oh my gosh, Squad Busters took our collab! I made a video on that. You should go check it out. It's my 3rd most viewed video on the channel. Y'all are crazy. But anyway, yeah, I feel like we were given, like, you know, some promises, some promising changes, and I feel like since we set our expectations, the quality bar wasn't really met, and we were just ultimately disappointed. So now that, you know, we've had this bit of communication, we have some new things to look forward to. Overall, if you're a free-to-play player, this should be pretty cool because you'll have more opportunities to get your accounts, you know, progress decently so you guys can stop, you know, picking Power 11 brawlers with only a gadget and a hypercharge in my freaking ranked games. But, yeah. That's gonna be it, honestly. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I know a lot of the stuff that I said in this video was just a bunch of gobbledygook. I originally wanted to make a script for this, but I felt this was a video that... I felt like this would be a video that better suits a more raw, I guess... a raw, candid, like, approach to the script. Like, I keep saying script. There's no script at all. I'm just... Oh, I can't say that. Family friendly. I'm just winging it. I was going to say something completely different. But yeah, I felt like my emotions would be better conveyed if I just spoke my mind. So I know I stuttered and stumbled with my words a little bit, and I apologize. I'm just speaking from the mind. I'm not looking at a script. The only thing I have on my computer screen is the article that they said about masteries and the future of free-to-play progression in the game. Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my mind, off my chest. And I'm curious to see what you guys think. I'm having a lot of fun with Dodge Brawl, I'll say that much. I am really enjoying this game mode. It is genuinely one of the best game modes they've ever released. It is so much fun. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully we have some, new things to look forward to. Also, I don't know if I showed y'all in the video because I haven't recorded the gameplay yet, but I unlocked Allie, so might make a video on her. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other and love each other, and peace.